Hey, so what is going on everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario, and today I'm going to be showing you all how you can soft mod your Sega Saturn in a way that you will now be able to play backup or copied games on it, and you'll also be able to play imported games on it quite easily. Now you are going to have to spend a little bit of money for this, but trust me, it is quite easy to do, and it's easier to find and easier to install than, finding and installing a mod chip. It's also cheaper as well too. So first off, what we're going to use is Pseudo Saturn. Now we are going to take this and we need to install it onto a flash card. So you're going to need a few things. First off, you're going to need a blank CD because we will be burning this over to a CD. You'll also need a screwdriver because you're going to have to take apart your Sega Saturn. You will need a flash cart, which trust me, this is the one you want. Get a action replay cart. I know you can use a Game Shark, but trust me, they can actually damage your Saturn. So just spend the money to get this thing right here. And it's not even that much. This is actually cheaper than getting a mod chip, if I remember correctly, and it's much easier to find. So this also has a bunch of extra features like, the 1 megabyte expansion, 4 megabyte expansion, save features, cheats, all that other stuff. But just go ahead and get this, and we're going to be reflashing this. You also might need some tape on hand for this if you're going to tape down a button, and you're also going to need one working Sega Saturn, of course, and a legitimate game that we're going to swap, because I'm going to make this tutorial assuming that you do not have a way of getting a hold of a chipped Saturn, because if you have a chipped Saturn, it's much easier to play a burned game, but I'll show you this right here. So first off, you need to go to this page down below in the description to download Pseudo Saturn, and you need to click this file right here, or one of these files, to download Pseudo Saturn Flasher. Once you have it downloaded, you just want to go ahead, right click, extract, and there's going to be a Flasher ARP ISO file. You want to go ahead and open this up with your favorite burning program. I use ImgBurn, and you want to go ahead and put in your CDR. Now, I've already burned this over, so I'm not going to need to do it, but you just want to go ahead, select the slowest burn speed you can, hit burn, and it shouldn't take that long because it's only a 5 megabyte CDR, and once that's done, you want to go ahead, go over to your Saturn. The rest of this tutorial will be over at the Saturn, but you want to make sure it's working. You want to go there with your action replay cart, a screwdriver, some tape, your game, and this copied CD right here. So I'll see you all at the Saturn. Now this right here is a big warning. Before you continue, what you're about to do right here will completely erase your flash cart. That means if you have any saves on there, any type of data that you care about, and any type of codes, you will not be able to use the codes again, because this will just be used as a mod chip of sorts, and you will lose your save data. So if you have any valuable save data, make sure you back that up, and if you're okay without using cheat codes, then you can go ahead and continue with this tutorial. Now first off, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you unscrew all the screws that are needed to open up the Sega Saturn. I will not be showing you how to do that, as you can find guides online pretty easily, and even without a guide you could do it quite easily, but you need to detect what kind of model you have. Now I have a Model 1 right here. The Model 2, around where my finger was pointing at, has a switch that you can go ahead and tape down if you want to, that will allow you to keep the console closed up, but also be able to swap discs and all that stuff. Now the Model 1, it might have one, but it doesn't have one from what I see, at least. So what I did was I kind of just kept the top of the system open, and I had the whole system open like this, and trust me, you're still able to play games. It works out just fine. But now that you have your thing set up, so with the Model 1, what I did, I just kept it open like this. The Model 2, you can go ahead and tape down that switch. You want to go ahead and get prepared and have your 2 discs on hand, and I'll show you how to do a swap trick. So first off, the order is important. First off, you need to go ahead and pop in the burn CD, which will be our ARP disc. After that, you're going to swap over to a legitimate CD, and then you're going to swap back to the burn CD and go ahead and boot it up. Now I will show you how to do the swap right here, because it is based on timing and sounds. So first off, you want to go ahead and put in the burn disc and turn on your Saturn, and when you hear a buzz, you're going to take out the burn disc and swap in a legit disc. Now next up, this swap will be a little bit tougher. You're going to want to look at the access light, and you want to wait for it to blink 3 times really fast. After it blinks 3 times super fast, you want to swap discs again, and it should successfully work. Now, I've slowed that down and I've broken it down best I can for you all, and for anybody that thinks that was fake or it's super hard, I actually did that on my first try. I had never done that before, and I did it for the first time ever on camera, so it was quite easy to do, but altogether, it should look and sound something like this. Now this looks intimidating, but trust me, it's quite easy to use, and make sure you keep this disc on hand in case you ever want to flash back the original firmware of your card. But what you want to do right here is you want to go ahead and press A to select a firmware, so I will be selecting Pseudo Saturn version 0.832 because that is the latest one. After that, it might give some errors saying, yes, you're mismatching chipsets or anything like that. It should be fine. You want to go ahead and press A, B, and C to confirm that, and then right here, it's going to erase your card, and then it's going to flash it with Pseudo Saturn, so you just want to hang tight for a few minutes. Now, once write verification is complete and successful, as you can see right here, you can go ahead and press start to exit, and then just go ahead and turn off your system. At this point, what I would do is go ahead and keep the action replay cart in there, but then turn your system back on and make sure that it can actually boot up properly. What you want to do is you want to look for the Pseudo Saturn boot up. Now, if you installed one without a logo screen, you're not going to see that, but if you did install one with that, you're going to see the Pseudo Saturn logo, and then it's going to bring up a small menu that will ask you to boot up a game or to flash AR or anything like that. This is what you're looking for. Now, as you can see right here, we're just going to step back and I'm going to show you all the proof that this works. So this is my legitimate game right here, which is a legitimate US game, and I made a backup copy of it. So I have my Japanese Saturn right here, which should not be playing a US game, and I'm going to use my action replay cards that I have reflashed with the Pseudo Saturn firmware. Now, if you ever want to reflash action replay, you can actually use that disc to reflash that firmware over because it does contain the firmware on that in case you ever want to do it. My best advice would be to just buy 2 of them. That's what I did actually. So I have one that's stock and one that's been modified. But what you're going to see right here is when you boot up your Saturn with everything in place, it's going to bring up Pseudo Saturn Loader, and then it'll ask you if you want to start a game. You can go ahead and press A to that option. It'll bring up some text on screen and then go to the Sega screen. And as you can see right there, your game should boot up without an issue. Now, there are going to be some games that will not work with this because this is still kind of experimental, and another important thing is that the action replay cart right here actually has a feature in the stock firmware that it can bypass anti-cheat games, so games that will not boot properly like Panzer Dragoon Sui or Saga with an action replay cart or any type of cart, this can bypass it. However, because we installed a new custom firmware, that new custom firmware does not have that feature, meaning that if you have any games that have anti-cheat on them, you will have to rip them and patch them, find a patch online, and then burn them and play them that way. Anyways, I hope this video helped you all out. Hopefully you now have a soft modded Sega Saturn. It was quite easy to do. But this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Again, hope this helped you all out.